me to solve for x. So when I'm solving for x, I need to figure out where is x even at. So in this case here, I have my x written here, and it's part of this angle u. So here it tells me I have a congruency statement where angle u is congruent to angle y. So when they're congruent, I know that they're equal. So I can then say, well, angle y, the measurement of angle y, is equal to the measurement of angle u. I know that this is true. And if I look here at y, it gives me this box, which I know is a right angle, so that means y is 90 degrees. So I can set 2x minus 10 equal to 90. I can add over the 10, add over the 10, so 100 is equal to 2x. I can then divide each side by 2, and that means x has to be equal to 50. All right, this one says solve for DE. So I need to find out what the length of DE is. So before I get started, I'm going to look here and say, well, DE I know corresponds with MN. So here I know that DE is going to be equal to MN. So when I look here, I see there is nothing written for this MN. So I can't actually set 3x plus 1 equal to anything right now because there's nothing written there. But if I look around, I see I have an x written here and an x written here. So let me look. This is represented by FE. So FE is our second and our third letter. NO is our second and our third letter. And FE corresponds with this NO, so we know that these are equal to each other. So I couldn't get started with my DE immediately, but I can solve for x because I know that FE is equal to NO based on my congruency statement. So I can then do 2x minus 4 is equal to x plus 2. Now I'm just solving for x. I can add over 4. So this gives me, I'll write it right here, 2x is equal to x plus 6. I will subtract the x, so x is then equal to 6. Now, I didn't ask you to solve for x explicitly, so we are not done. We want to solve for DE, and I know DE is 3x plus 1. So I will then have to substitute 6 in for x, so it's 3 times 6 plus 1, 18 plus 1, or 19. So DE is equal to 19 units, whatever our units would be. All right, so if I go to try and start to do this problem, I can see solve for PQ. So maybe I look at PQ, I'm like, wow, I don't have anything written here, so I don't really know how to get started. I see a bunch of x's. So let me see if any of these x correspond. Well, I notice I only have one x on my outside, and my side length. So let me look at these two here. This can maybe help me get started for my x's first. All right, so here I have an x for angle J and an x for angle S. Well, since they're written in the same spot, they correspond. So I know that angle J is equal to angle X. So the measurement of angle J is equal to the measurement of angle S. So I can then say 3x minus 30 is equal to x plus 10. I know they have to be the same measurement. So now I can start solving for x. So I'm going to add 30 to both sides. So now I get 3x is equal to x plus 40. I will finish this up here. So 3x is equal to x plus 40. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to subtract x to move it to the other side. So 2x is equal to 40. And my last part, I divide each side by 2. And I get x is equal to 20. So I know anywhere I see an x, I can substitute 20 if I would like to. All right, but when I'm solving for PQ, I notice that there's nothing written here. So let me look and see, where does PQ correspond with? So PQ is the first two letters and GH is the first two letters. So that means that PQ and GH are equal. These are equal to each other. So I see I have a 4x minus 1. So if I can solve for GH, I can solve for PQ. So GH is equal to PQ, and I know that GH is equal to 4x minus 1. So 4 times 20 minus 1 is 80 minus 1, or 79. So if they're equal, then I know that PQ is also equal to 79. So let me write this here. PQ must also be equal to 79. Since PQ and GH correspond, and since they're congruent, we know that their lengths are going to be equal to each other. All right, now that is it for the review video.